What is an unexpected trend and business and investment opportunity coming up in the next 10 years? That's going to be one of the topics of today's video. And before doing that, go over to infuriated.com, especially if you're an expat and a high net worth individual, and see how I can help you. Now, obviously, I couldn't have a business, and many of the people listening and watching to this couldn't have a business if the internet wasn't such a big thing. And obviously, the internet is becoming bigger, technology is becoming bigger, and nobody expects that to change. So artificial intelligence, all these new technologies that are getting better and better, well, they're not new necessarily, but the way they're getting better is certainly something relatively new, I would say. That is leading to a situation where tech is taking over our lives. And I think most people obviously don't expect the NASDAQ to be at a lower level in 30 years than it is today. So technology is not going away. But what is interesting is that the competition is now so high that certain assumptions that were made even a few years ago are now being challenged. So for example, if I would have told you 4 years ago that Google's monopoly on search could actually be challenged by the likes of ChatGPT, nobody would have believed me. But now some people are thinking that there's a chance in 10 or 20 years that the same thing will happen to Google as happened to Yahoo 20 years ago when Google overtook them. So new technologies might well change the dynamics in that way. People might not Google search or Yahoo search or indeed YouTube search. They might actually go on ChatGPT, or indeed they might speak into a headset like Alexa and tell them, or tell it, what they want to search for. Now, this leads to an important point, and that's that a lot of software businesses that are already difficult to make money from for owners might well struggle in the future. And the competition will go up dramatically when it comes to certain digital businesses. However, one area I think will not be challenged in any significant way in the next generation are physical experiences. So for example, this year I went on a safari in Africa. It was absolutely fantastic, and you couldn't do that kind of thing remotely. Yes, you can watch a documentary and you could probably put on a VR headset somewhere in the world, but it's not the same as, seeing animals live in a safari. And likewise, I was just back from the United States in the Las Vegas area for a convention. I'm not a particular gambler myself, but it was very interesting to see how it's obviously thriving in that part of the US when it comes to those kind of experiences. And I'm sure Macau in China or outside of mainland China is much the same now. It's come back very strong from COVID. Now, the point is, those kind of things can't be disrupted. And I think as technology takes over our life more and more and more, people are going to want those outlets. So let's say somebody is working from home. They're doing Zoom meetings. They're doing Teams meetings. They're on YouTube. They're on WhatsApp. They're spending more and more time online. Those people actually are probably going to want to spend more money on experiences. That could be travel experiences, something very unique. I mentioned the safari, or it could be something less unique maybe. But anything that kind of gets them out the house, something that's unique that isn't just something that everyone else does, I think people are actually going to want to spend more money on that in the future. So what was interesting is after the pandemic, a lot of people spent more money on travel, even though historically travel was seen as a discretionary spending. Many people saw it as essential if they were already working from home and spending more time with computers and devices. So I don't think obviously technology is going away, but what I do think is as more people spend more and more time online, there will be certain in-person businesses that will actually thrive because people are actually going to want that particular outlet to let off some steam, have some enjoyment, and have unique experiences as well. Obviously, the question is, are those businesses scalable? They're never probably going to be the next Google or Amazon, but I really do feel like when it comes to technology, there is this way that it becomes winner take all. So after the 2000.com crash, the NASDAQ did recover, but a few tech stocks dominated. Likewise, now with AI, probably a few companies are going to dominate. It's not going to be easy for like a small or medium-sized business to do well in those areas. Whereas I think in-person experiences are something where if people have the right niche, they could do very well.